This is like a mini grocery haul. This week in particular, I'm doing low carbs all week just because I'm not going to be doing any training. I got like a bicep tendonitis, tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, all in the one go. So no training this week, which means I don't need any carbs, which means I can do a overview, I guess, of what I'm going to eat during my low carb periods, which again in this case is all week. So right off the bat, breakfast. So when I get up in the morning, I generally don't eat anything. I'm not hungry, and I like to extend that sort of fat burning window as long as I can. So first thing is typically a black coffee with some either thickened cream or pure cream. I think in the States you guys call it heavy whipping cream. The only thing to make sure of is the carbohydrate content needs to be 0, or it can't have any sugar in it. This one has less than 1 grams of carbs per serve. So I just put that in my coffee, sometimes with a little bit of sweetener. And that's all I'll have until later on in the day. Usually till around 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when I'll have my lunch or my breakfast. Breakfast being eggs. Always have eggs for the first meal of my day. I don't really go for anything expensive or fancy. These are just standard 12 free range eggs, extra large, and I'll combine that with some kind of meat. So either bacon. I like to get the ones that are not 70% fat. This one's shortcut bacon, so there's a decent amount of meat on there plus the fat. The only vegetable I'm really eating, again, is with my breakfast, is avocados. They got lots of good stuff in them, lots of potassium. So I'll have one of those with my breakfast. And if it's a good season, I'll have plenty of tomatoes in the backyard. So I'll fry those up in some oil and eat those with my meal. So that's one meal a day. That usually gets me through until dinner time. And dinner is usually some kind of red meat. So I got myself some rump steak. If I'm feeling fancy, some Scotch fillet. But any type of red meat does the trick. That's usually just cooked in a pan like you see me doing in my previous videos. Sometimes I'll make burgers. On this occasion I've gone with the lean beef mince, just to not go too crazy on the calories, because I'm always cooking with oil or some kind of other fat anyway, so I don't want to overdo the fats, seeing as though I need to be in somewhat of a calorie deficit. And all the fat from minced meat usually makes me feel pretty sick anyway. I don't know why. On a special occasion, I'll make some chicken wings. And with those chicken wings, I go easy on this stuff, but some buffalo sauce and creamy ranch, these two things make you feel like you're not even dieting, honestly. So I'll eat that whole tray, which is 660 grams. So I'll eat that, maybe half of this, which comes to maybe 5 grams of carbs in that. So still pretty low carb, very tasty. And whenever I'm making the steak, sometimes I'll have it just on its own, like a steak maybe with something on the side. But what goes down really well is this low carb bread option here. You toast these up with some cheese. So any kind of cheese is generally okay. Sometimes I use this cream cheese or burger cheese, but you can make like a nice toasted steak sandwich with cheese, low carb bread, any kind of steak, and you can even get away with stuff like this burger sauce. I think a serving of this is 3 grams of carbs, so it's very low carbs, very tasty. Again, makes you feel like you're not even dieting. Or sugar-free tomato sauce or ketchup. So that's dinner. To finish off my night, to make it feel like I'm, having like a treat, because that's when I'm not doing anything and I'm turning myself into a fatty. I always like to go to bed after eating lots of treats, right? And this kind of saves me this protein. So a protein powder after my dinner. Any kind of protein works. I just usually get what's on special. This is what was on special. A serving of this has 24 grams of protein, 2 grams of fat, and 2.6 grams of carbs. So this with some almond milk. And the almond milk is unsweetened, so never get the sweetened version. This, and I like to mix it in a blender with some almond butter and some coconut oil. And again, at the end of the day, that's very filling, and it makes you feel like you're having a treat right before bed. Very effective. So I'm only really eating 2 to 3 times a day. If I'm hungry in between, I'll just have another one of these. So 2 main meals and 1 or 2 shakes per day. I'm not hungry at all any day of the week when I'm doing this. I take pre-workout shakes. Again, whatever's on special. Make sure that they don't have any sugars in it. This is a watermelon pre-workout no crash by Famous Nutrition. I take this before I train, and yeah, it really helps me push, get my workouts nice and intense. I take a fish oil. So any kind of fish oil. Creatine, of course. This is something that will really help you if you're doing low carbs, because when you're not eating carbohydrates, your muscles tend to get very flat. You kind of become dehydrated in a sense, and this helps you hold on to that fullness in your muscles. And it's just, if you're training, this is going to help you everywhere. Any other real supplement I take is a boron supplement. That's just to keep my free testosterone levels high, I guess. I don't know if it works. I haven't really done a blood test to sort of test the difference, but I hear it works, so I'm trying it. Last thing on the list is Diet Right Cordial. So again, this is at the end of the day, or any time where I feel like, man, I really want something sweet. Maybe my kids are having like Maccas with Coke or whatever. Just makes you feel like, everything's okay. Life's still good. You get something sweet too. Something that I thought I'd let you guys know to steer clear of. So this low carb bread is good. This low carb bread is not. There's on the back of this. Always got to check the label. Don't trust the marketing lines on the front package. But per serve, so per every 2 slices of this is 1.4 grams of carbs. Whereas this one also says low carb, and it's 16 grams of carbs. So that's kind of like half your carb allowance for the whole day right here. Typically, if you're eating ultra low carb and you want to be, kind of want to get yourself into ketosis, you don't want to be going over 30 grams per day. And that's about it. I'm sure there's other things that I usually eat that I forget about, but this kind of gives you a general idea of what I'm eating. The only way this changes is, like I said before, if I'm training. So say Thursday comes around, I've had a few heavy, intense sessions at the gym and I'm feeling really depleted, then I will go ahead and I will lower my fat for that evening, and I will pump my carbs up to really high levels, and that's usually in the form of LCMs, anything in my kids section, all of those high carb, high sugar snacks, and I'll pair that with again, protein, leaner cuts of steak, sometimes chicken, or like just tuna, and yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoy.